Some incredible news just dropped because Merryweather Media is starting a VTuber agency. Technically, it's a virtual talent agency, but we all know it's gonna be VTubers. For those unfamiliar with the name Merryweather Media, it's the company behind a lot of these lore videos I've been reacting to in the past year, but also the company behind big webtoons like Winter Moon, Clinging Horror, Stalker, and many more. Anyway, this is incredible news, especially amongst all of these hiatuses and graduations of really big VTubers. So to see another agency pop up and form new groups, that's some positivity that we really needed. The lineup of AstraLine is going to be Alfhilde Odinsdatter, Nick Nocturne, Frederick Knudsen, VTuber, and Merrydog. And here is the preview. A new project by Merryweather Media. Here are all the silhouettes. Old magic and new frontiers. A new story unfolds. The pages turn. Oh, I like this vibe so much. AstraLine.
Valhalla will always be
Goddess
there.
of the Fallen.
Looks are such a human thing.
Archiver of the something?
Time to go hunt.
Guardian of the Eternal Forest.
Think you seem scary.
Explorer of the Paranormal Realm.
I really have gone insane, haven't I?
And Prince of the Fictional World. And debut Martel on September 2nd. And it's actually EU friendly this time. Oh, and this art is so good. Oh, look at them! Incredible. Right after the announcement hit yesterday that there was gonna be a VTuber agency involving Merryweather Media, I immediately recorded a video, which for all purposes, I don't want to throw in the void, so I'm just gonna stitch it to the end of this video. So the short rundown of that video was that I first looked at this logo, which Iris, one of Mary's mods, thank you Iris, you really helped, already dissected into a few design elements: wings, a snowflake, a crown, a pen, and a book. And at closer range, it might actually be a shield rather than a pen. However, each of these design elements correspond with one of the members and their Oshi marks, which is already a small giveaway, but those were hints that were in the teaser of AstraLine that was posted yesterday. However, we already had teasers of AstraLine in Merryweather's GamerSubs ad from last month and his lore from back in April this year. So you see, Merryweather has this lore trilogy that he has been building since late last year, and the one that was posted in April was supposed to be the last part of this trilogy. However, Merry already said that that was not gonna be his last lore, and the ending was already setting up for a continuation. At that point in time, it already felt like it was gonna be a bigger storyline, but I didn't predict it was gonna involve multiple people, because let's be real here. If Merryweather Media is the company producing AstraLine, obviously they're all gonna have lore, right? And it seems that Mary's trilogy was already a sort of prequel and world set up for all of this. So while I don't want to go in depth about Mary's lore, you can check out the links in the descriptions as well as my videos on it. What it comes down to is that Merryweather had several forms of himself. At the end of his lore, they basically reintegrated back into one full Mary, but all of that happened inside of his own mental space. So when the personalities integrated together and he woke up, he didn't have an active recollection of what happened. So he was kind of puzzled and out of it. Then he starts seeing ink dogs again outside. He finds his pen, and then he gets transported to a forest, and there is a hooded stranger just sitting there reading a book. It was for a long time very unclear who this stranger was because there was no name in the credits, there was nothing. But it turns out it was one of the members, Frederick Knudsen. He says, "You're early, too early," and then he sends Mary back to the real world, to which Mary even more thinks that he's losing it. So out of that, the only members I can actively place are Frederick Knudsen himself, because obviously he is sitting there himself. It's his character reading that book. And he is also an archivist according to the preview. But then I also think that that forest is something special. And then in the preview, Lumi was called the Guardian of the Eternal Forest. So maybe that forest is the Eternal Forest, which in some regards feels a bit odd because we see Lumi earlier in that lore video giving what looks like a marketing pitch in the meeting that Mary wakes up in. But considering a lot happened to Mary and he lost his memory, there might be some stuff that happened to Lumi or is yet to happen in this connected universe. I'm not completely up to date with Lumi's lore, so I cannot really say anything about that, but that's what my prediction is. As for what Frederick Knudsen is talking about, there might might be something that's gonna happen in the future. Like, he's an archivist, he might have a book or a scroll with some predictions or prophecies, and he knew it's gonna happen, but it cannot happen yet. Merry was too early, so he had to be sent back. But considering that video dropped 5 months ago, it might not be too early anymore. It might finally be the time for that to happen, because I genuinely think with Merry's skills, there's gonna be a lore reason why these people are together. We might even get the lore behind the name AstraLine. We already have incredible art and this incredible logo representing all the people and their Oshi marks, or at least their design elements. But what else is gonna happen? I have no idea just yet. I'm very excited for this group because, I don't know, we have so many corporate groups out there, and I feel like one under management by Merryweather Media might just do something unique and different to shake things up and maybe blur the line between indie and corpo even more than it already has. And in the current stage of VTubing, and especially on the corporate side, we might just need it. Anyway, that's all I can say about this topic right now. The rest of this video is going to be the rest of my original recording from yesterday. So I'm going a little bit more in depth about certain things I already talked about here. But as I recorded this before I knew the final lineup, you just see me theorizing about who it could be, to which I'm actually accurate in, and also some theories surrounding the lore a little bit more detailed, but I'm wrong in certain parts because I just didn't have all the information, and hindsight is always 20/20, right? If there's anything you think I missed or still think I'm wrong or incomplete about, let me know in the comments down below, because I love theorizing and I cannot wait to see the lore of this new group. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I wish you all the fun with yesterday's recording. I will add some editor's notes so the information is a bit more complete, even though I'm already aware that a lot of it is wrong or just incomplete. See you in the next video and enjoy. Merryweather presents. The logo popping up. And 5 stars. This is so Genshin. AstraLine. This logo is beautiful, by the way. And there are some important bits in this teaser that I'm gonna tell you about in a second. September 2nd, 2023, which is only in a few days, by the way. So if you're a good theorist and you get handed a teaser like this, you need to go over everything. All the little bits and pieces that could even present a hint of the potential lore of what's going on. Which is where Iris comes in, because she took the logo that popped up at the start and was fading in before the 5 stars overtook it and dissected it, because it has 5 or 6 design elements, depending on how you look at it. Wings, snowflake, crown, a microphone, a pen, and a book. So it's quite safe to assume that these design elements are teasers for who are gonna be the starting members of this agency. The best guesses currently is the pen belonging to Merry, the snowflake belonging to his cousin Lumi, the wings either belonging to a friend of his, Alfhilde, who has little Valkyrie wings on her head, or to a friend of theirs called Fred, who has an owl theme going on. And then we have a microphone, which I think might suggest a voice actor, and then we have a book. So it's 5 or 6 elements depending on how you look at it. Like, you can see the crown and the pen belong to the same thing, belong to Merry, or the pen and the book belong to the same thing, but we know nothing for sure yet, so this is our best guess. So the design elements and the people it could potentially belong to, plus the context of, oh, it's gonna be a VTuber group, made me think of a segment of a video that Merry posted last month, which is his gamer subs ad. And in the middle of the ad, he was talking about like, oh, we animals have been able to turn ourselves into hot anime people for a long time, you know, with opposing terms and everything. Again, this is an ad, so this was just trying to sell his waifu cup. But it showed 5 VTuber silhouettes in the background. And I'm fairly sure that from left to right, it's Merry, Lumi, Alfhilde, Frederick Knudsen, and Nick Nocturne. So for the context of this video, there is no need to include the 2 people that don't have VTuber designs, by the way, Fred and Nick. But also we know what Merry, Lumi, and Alfhilde look like, so why include them in a shadow form feels a bit sus. And especially considering nothing has been confirmed about who these people are, even though with some deduction you can tell. This feels like a hint. Like, this still has felt sus to me ever since this trailer dropped. So going back to this logo, it doesn't completely add up with the still we just saw. And while it partially does, not completely. But one of the design points in this logo that made me think about something else entirely is the book. I want to go and recap some facts so you have enough context so you can keep following what I'm going at, okay? So Merryweather Media does VTuber lore, right? So it's safe to assume that if he starts his own agency, all of these people are gonna get their own lore. And as he already has experience writing an extended connected universe with Shoujo, they're gonna be connected, right? And as Mary is gonna be in this group, his previous 3 lore videos, which form a trilogy, are a precedent or like a prequel for this lore universe, in a way. And the ending of that trilogy had a very interesting sequence that was hinting at a larger story at hand while being really, really vague. And pairing that with Mary saying that this is the last part in this series, but not his last lore, I feel like his latest lore video might have set up the world for which AstraLine is gonna be part of. I hope you can still follow me. So while I don't think it's important for me to explain the entire plot of this trilogy, to explain my theory, I do want to recap it a little bit. But if you're curious, I've made videos on it, so I'm gonna leave those in the description, as well as the direct links to those videos. So I just recommend you to watch them. They're really good, by the way. So to quickly recap what has been happening, Mary has basically been fighting this battle with and against different personalities or versions of himself, and most, if not all, happened inside of his head. So all the fantastical elements, etc., were just happening inside of his head, and the only limit was his own imagination. So everything was possible as long as he could think about it. So at the end of the battle, where basically his variants died and started integrating with one another, Mary woke up in the middle of a meeting nonetheless. Anyway, he has no full recollection of what happened. He just feels off and like he's losing his mind. So after work, because he doesn't really feel himself, he goes and visits the combi and gets something to drink and tries to shake off the weird feeling he has. And from this point, I'm going to play the lore and I'm gonna try and give commentary as it's going.
Why do I feel off today?
That's an ink dog. That's his fan mascot, and it's not supposed to exist in the real world because it only existed in his mind, or at least this manifestation of it, this physical form. So even if he did have all his memories, this would have been an odd sighting.
An ink dog?
And he has slight flashbacks of his memory,
Wait! Come
but
back!
he doesn't quite understand.
Ink dog, don't run away!
And then something happens. And then he wakes up in this beautiful forest. And there's a hooded stranger sitting there.
Who are you?
You're early.
And what is he holding? A book. A lot of attention is given to this book.
Too early.
But early for what? That's the question.
I'm going insane, aren't I?
Mary's not having a good day. Oh, and then there's this pen that also shouldn't
pen.
exist.
Why do I remember it?
And it brings in all the magical powers to the real world, which also shouldn't be possible because it was inside of his head. Right? And it just breaks open space and time to a different dimension. Full magical girl transformation.
You're back! My dog army, you're all back! This is amazing!
But technically this shouldn't be possible. Because it was all in his head, right? But he's right back in his castle, which he just left.
I really have gone insane, haven't I? But maybe that's okay. Whoop!
And then there's another really interesting thing. With all of these lore videos, from whoever VTuber it is, everyone is credited. Every character is credited. And even like strangers or people without a name are credited. But aside from the different variations of Mary, everyone is credited as playing themselves. There's no stranger, there's no hooded figure, there's no additional character, which has a name that we don't know yet. So what that makes me think is that the hooded stranger is not a stranger. It's just a different variant of a character that we already know. And I'm not very good with voices, but it sounded very familiar. It sounded like AJ Sparks. And considering the hooded stranger is a blonde male and AJ's OC is also blonde, it might just be a variant of AJ. Why? How? I don't know. I just know he's a voice actor and there is a microphone in the logo we looked at earlier, and he's holding a book. And as the hooded stranger says, you're early, too early, but this video was published 5 months ago, late April. It might finally be time for whatever it is. The ending of that video is so mysterious and like hinting at a full new storyline that might be bigger than anything we've seen from Merry so far in his own videos. I originally thought it might just be a really cool storyline where he could flex his writing skills and have full creative control because it's for himself. But it actually does make sense that potentially that ending and that like location of that weird forest and that stranger and like, oh, you're early for something that you shouldn't be early for, could be hinting at a bigger universe with more people in it, and also like a lore reason why these people are together, right? Maybe a lore reason why those animals could turn into hot anime people to begin with, because that was the context of the 5 feature models that we saw in the Gamersubs ad. And while that might not tell us anything of the lore or might have heavy confirmations of who might be part of this first wave of this new agency, there are some strong hints and several pieces of media that are seemingly connected together. And there might be other things that I have missed or Merry has said on stream that I simply have not seen or never really saved in my brain to connect to whatever this is. But what I do know is when Merry debuted that video with his VTuber debut, he said that he believed that I could figure out what the ending of that video was with all the clues that were strewn about. And now we're having more bits of information. Things are slowly falling in place. And while I don't believe September 2nd is going to be actual debuts, I feel like it's just going to be a formal announcement. Like this is just a teaser for an announcement for something else. I'm very glad to have these pieces of information connected in this way. But yeah, I really hope this video was not too complicated to follow, because I think it does require a little bit of prior knowledge. But if you're curious for the full lore, links are in the description. My videos reacting and analyzing it are also in the description. And again, big thanks to Iris for setting off this train of thought and letting me bounce off some ideas and helping me overall. And I'm very excited for September 2nd. If there's anything at all that I have missed, or because I explained these connections that you remembered something that might be connected to it, or you have better ideas of what that logo might signify, like who those design elements might be a part of, and whether or not I might be completely wrong about including that Gamersubs ad overall, let me know in the comments down below, because I want all the pieces of information, because I just like puzzling out these things, okay? Analyzing and lore hunting is just something that I absolutely love doing. But considering the possibility of us having like 5 more lore videos in very near future, I don't think I'll be done analyzing anytime soon. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it once again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!